of what it would be like going 700 miles an hour in a passenger pod that's all about magnets connected to rails. It's Hyperloop transportation. Explain to the audience how futuristic this is, Raja.
They want to
of what it would be like going 700 miles an hour in a passenger pod that's all about magnets connected to rails. It's Hyperloop transportation. Explain to the audience how futuristic this is, Raja.
They want to
of what it would be like going 700 miles an hour in a passenger pod that's all about magnets connected to rails. It's Hyperloop transportation. Explain to the audience how futuristic this is, Raja.
They want to cut the travel time to be half that of an airline, Rob. This Hyperloop is now being tested in California. There are actually two companies that are doing this. Basically, they want you to put in a vacuum tube and run sort of using the magnetic rails. That's what they want.
It's Hyperloop Transportation and Hyperloop Technologies, the two companies that are forming. Had a test run in the desert last week, and you could actually travel 400 miles from Frisco to LA in 30 minutes. Same for Pittsburgh to New York, and they're even talking about going under the Pacific Ocean from Frisco to China. Amazing stuff. Now, Bob Hurley, not the Duke basketball player, although he was special, but we're talking about the man behind the Port Authority and the economic development of Allegheny County was your guest. And you were talking about a number of things, including Uber. We talked last week about General Motors getting in the act and trying to have their own driverless cab, maybe a Chevy Bolt. Well, the Ford Fusion is already rolling in Pittsburgh without a driver. Tell us about that.
For Uber's here in Pittsburgh, they have taken 40 robotic researchers from Carnegie Mellon. And last week, ladies and gentlemen, they announced that they are driving these driverless cars. It's got a bolt-on top of the car. It's got the radars and lasers. And basically, it's a big computer on a box. That's what they're doing.
Last thing, Apple has invested $1 billion in a Chinese company. Tell everybody about that.
$1 billion in Didi. It's D-I-D-I. Because they want to be in this space. Uber being valued at $60 billion. Apple knows it's time to get a part of the pie. So they want to get into this space. Again, all of them are getting to autonomous, driverless cars and taxis.
Yeah, Charlie Batch on the program too, talking about the Batch Foundation, but also his new company. Tell the audience about that.
Impalia, which is using technology that's come out of University of Pittsburgh. Basically, it's for athletes who get injured or any individuals who get injured. You can use this high-tech apps that they have to ensure that you're progressing the fastest way you can from your injury.
Yeah, a really cool and classy guy, Charlie Batch. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find out more about what he does and listen to past programs. TheRajashow.com. You can find him on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. They're everywhere. Now it's time for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show